Have you ever felt confused about macros? Protein, carbs, fats, what are they? How does it work? Is it some kind of secret in the fitness industry? Listen, I completely understand. I used to feel the same way, okay? And by the end of this video, I promise you, you're going to understand macros, okay? You're going to expand your mind, your awareness, and you're going to be able to get started on your fitness journey and start getting the results you want, okay? I'm Kyle Settles, and I've been in the fitness industry for over 15 years. At one point in my life, I was 300 pounds, so I know exactly how you feel. I know what it feels like to not understand macros, to be curious, to not understand food, how much you should be eating, all of these things. But today I want to simplify things, okay? I want you to get started on your journey today and have a better understanding so that you can start to get the results that you want, okay? Now, if you guys have any questions, right, comment below. I will dive deeper into this, but I've got a lot of stuff on the whiteboard. Stay with me. Again, no fancy edits, no science talk, no craziness, just raw, real me, my experience. Let's keep things simple, okay? So first off, what is macros? Macros stands for macronutrients, okay? There's protein, carbs, and fats in the food that we eat, okay? Now listen, let's break down each one of these macros, okay? Protein, you know what protein is, hopefully, right? You've got protein supplements, protein bars, you've got protein sources, you've got fish, you've got steak, you've got ground turkey, right? And all of these protein sources are gonna have sometimes a little bit of fat and carbs with them, but mostly those are protein sources, okay? Now listen, carbs you're gonna find in sugar, in candies, right? Think about candy, think about fruit, think about oatmeal, think about potatoes, right? Carbohydrates. And then fats, you're typically gonna find fats in like your oils, right, that you cook with, right? You're gonna find fats also in some of the meats that you eat, especially if it's a higher or a fattier meat source. Avocado, cheese, butter, right? Those are fat sources, okay? Now let's look at this. Let's keep things simple, guys. So protein, carbs, and fats. You have a food label. I've got a little picture of a food label right here. Typically at the top, it's gonna say nutrition facts. It's gonna say servings. How many servings? Is there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And then it's gonna say your calories. And then below, you're gonna see how many grams of fat, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of protein, right? We have to start to understand food labels. Most people don't look at a food label. I never used to look at a food label, but the things that we're not aware of are the things that are gonna hold you back, the things that are gonna hurt you. So listen, let's go over this real quick, okay? So protein, carbs, and fats here. So protein, there's 4 calories per 1 gram of protein, okay? Carbohydrates, there's also 4 calories per 1 gram. And then fats are more dense. Again, oils, butter, cheese, more dense. So for every 1 gram, there's 9 calories. 9 calories, over double what carbs and protein is. Okay, so let's do some simple math here. Stay with me. Okay, let's look at this label. Do it with me. So we've got one, this is just for video purposes. This is very simple. So you got 1 gram of fat. We'll call this a protein bar. 1 gram of fat, 4 carbs, and then 10 protein. Okay, so 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. 4 carbs equal 16 calories, right? Because 4 times 4 equals 16. And then you got 10 grams of protein. 10 times 4 is gonna be 40 calories. So 40 plus 16 plus 9 equals 65 calories. Now, this is where a lot of people go wrong because we'll look at a label and we'll just look at the calories, right? We don't even look at the protein, the carbs, or the fats, and we just see 65 calories. But you gotta pay attention to the serving size. There's 2 servings. So there's actually 2 grams of fat, there's actually 8 grams of carbs, and there's actually 20 grams of protein. So that would be 130 calories for this protein bar. So don't be fooled, don't be tricked by the food label. You gotta pay attention to the calories, the macros, and you gotta pay attention to the serving. I've been tricked and fooled so many times. Don't be fooled, okay guys? Hopefully this makes sense. If it doesn't make sense and you're new, right? Depending on who's watching this video, you may be at level 1, you may be at level 10. It doesn't matter if you're 100 pounds overweight or if you're about ready to get on stage and you're 8%. I've been all of them, guys. It doesn't matter. You need to understand this. Now let's talk about protein. How much protein should you be taking in? Okay, everyone will give you a different answer on this, by the way, depending on if you're talking to your doctor, your coach, your trainer, the app, Google, ChatGPT. Listen, guys, keep things simple. Your lean body mass times 0.7 to 1.2. Okay, and you're like, whoa, what is lean body mass? I don't know what my lean body mass is. If you're, whatever your goal weight is, your dream weight, if you're 200 pounds and you want to be 160, 160 is what we're going off of. And by the way, lean body mass is just simply taking your body fat off your body. So you're left with what? Your bones, your organs, your blood volume, all that good stuff. Again, if I just take my body fat off, I'm left with my lean body mass, okay? If you don't know your lean body mass, just go off your dream weight. Keep it simple, guys. Now, keep in mind, when you're figuring out your protein, don't overcomplicate this, guys. Okay, say you're 200 pounds and you want to be 160. So the more body fat that you have, if you have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds of body fat, just the less protein you need. So times your goal weight, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 0.7. That is where I would start. Now, if you're a leaner person, right, and you're only holding 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds of body fat, I don't care if you're 8% body fat, 9% body fat, 10% body fat, whatever, you need more protein. 1.2. 1.2 times your lean body mass, okay? We're still going off your lean body mass. We're still going off your goal weight, okay? And listen, guys, if you're like, I still don't know, just anywhere from 0.7 to 1.2, you're going to be fine, okay? Do not overcomplicate this. We can always change things later. That's the cool thing about macros, the cool thing about calories and starting to understand this. You can change this every week. You can change this at any point in time, okay? Now, calories. We're not gonna figure out carbs. We're not gonna figure out how many carbs we need yet. Typically, fat is what we figure out next. And we're gonna do this with Mary down here in a second so I can show you guys. But how many grams of fat do you need per day? Ideally, don't go any lower than 20% of your total calories. So, for example, if you're eating 1,000 calories, right? Don't go any lower than 20% in grams of the total calories, right? If you're eating 3,000 calories a day, don't go any lower than 20%, right? 20%, why do I say 20%? Because we want to make sure that we have enough fat in our diet for hormones, for our libido, for our brain function. Like, we need enough fat. If we keep our fat really, really low, we're just not going to sleep good. We're not going to feel good. We're not going to have that energy. We're not going to have that drive. So macros are important, right? There is some balance there, okay? Now listen, the remaining calories, I always figure out my carbohydrates last, right? The remaining calories, once I figure out my protein, my fat, the remaining calories are gonna come from carbohydrates. And typically, I have more carbs in my diet. Typically, my clients, I always put more carbs in their diet, and then I can adjust the carbs, right? It's a bigger number I can lower with time. But listen, guys, if you're a person that's sedentary and you want more fat in your diet and less carbs, you can completely do that. It doesn't matter. It's still just energy, right? Macros are calories and calories are macros, okay? So macros is what is protein, carbs, and fats, which make up the food that you eat, okay? Your protein, carbs, and fats, your macros is what is in the food. The food is what makes up the macros. So macros are calories and calories are macros. And when you start to track your macros, you start to gain a better understanding of food. You start to look at food differently. You start to understand your budget. You start to understand calories. And when you understand something at a higher level, like, it's so much easier to change, okay? So listen, guys, hopefully this is making sense. Macros is the macronutrients, okay, inside of the calories, right? So 65 calories, what makes up the 65 calories? 1 gram of fat, 4 grams of carbs, 10 grams of protein. 65 calories, right? We did the math. There's actually 2 servings in this protein bar, so we would need to double that. there's actually 130 calories. You gotta pay attention to the carbs, or I'm sorry, you gotta pay attention to the servings and the calories and the macros, guys. Okay, let's move on to an example. Okay, so do this with me. Write down your goal weight. If you're like, dude, I wanna figure this out. What are my macros? Okay, pay attention. Okay, we've got Mary down here. She's a female. She's currently 180 pounds. Her activity, she's sedentary. She's not doing a damn thing right now. She sits at work all day. She's on Zoom calls. She walks to her car. She walks from her car to her work. She's very sedentary, doesn't move at all. But she is ready to start her fitness journey, and she's like, I'm gonna start tracking my macros. I wanna start to understand food. So let's talk about this, okay? So the first thing is I need to know her goal. So her goal, her dream goal, she's using her imagination. She's not telling me, oh, I want to be 170 or I want to be 175. No, she's carrying 40 pounds of body fat. She wants to be 140 pounds is her goal weight. It's what she was in high school maybe, or the last time that she felt amazing was at 140 pounds. So we're going with 140 pounds, okay? So she's currently 180. Her activity level is sedentary, okay? Now, the first step is we need to figure out the calories. Like, how many calories are we gonna start with? And mind you guys, this is just a ballpark number. This is just an estimate, okay? All we know is that she's 180, she's sedentary, and her goal is to be 140 pounds. Listen, we need to have some kind of starting point, and then we can start tracking our data to see if we're going in the right direction, okay? So when you're figuring out your calories, we want to just take the lean body mass. So again, if you don't know your lean body mass, we're just going off of the goal weight. What's your goal weight? Okay, so 140 is her goal weight. So 140 times 10 to 15. She's sedentary, so we're just gonna times it by 12. We're just gonna go ballpark number. I could have gone 11, I could have gone 10, hell, I could have gone 15. And if you're doing this and you're like, well, I work out 3 times a week, or you're active or whatever, dude, it's okay. Just take your goal weight and times it by 15 or 14. It doesn't matter. It's just a start, okay? So 140, we're figuring out her calories. 140 times 12 is 1,540. So 1,540 calories is what I'm going to start Mary off with. That's what Mary is going to start. 1,540 calories. Now we need to figure out her macros. We know her calories, but how much protein, how much carbs, how much fat. Remember, we're gonna figure out her protein first. So we wanna take her goal weight, 140, times 0.7 to 1.2. I'm just gonna go on the low end. She's carrying 40 pounds of body fat. She doesn't need her protein through the roof. She can. It's not gonna hurt her. The more protein, the better. But she's probably not eating enough protein anyways right now. Most people are not even eating half the amount of protein that they actually need. Most people, okay? Now listen, 140 times 0.7, that's 98 grams of protein. So we've got her protein figured out. And again, we could have gone 140 times 0.8, 0.9. It doesn't matter, but this is a good starting point. 98 grams. Next, we're gonna figure out her fats. We wanna save carbs for last, okay? So let's figure out her fats. So we've got her total amount of calories, so 1,540. Now, mind you, if you're doing this on an app, MyFitnessPal or Excel or whatever food tracker that the food tracker will do all this. But I still think it's important that you understand, this is how I learned, and it changed my freaking life, okay? Understanding how this actually works, writing it down, figuring it out, it completely changes your perception, guys. Completely changes versus just plugging in the app and then the app doing it for you. Go through the process. Don't skip the process, guys. The process is that's like you're becoming a different person, and you're becoming a different person because you're expanding the mind, you're expanding your awareness, okay? So stay with me. So 1,540, remember I said don't go below 20% of your total calories, okay? We don't wanna go below 20%, okay? You're not gonna feel good. We're just gonna go 25%. We're gonna keep it simple with Mary, just to get her started. And again, these things can change. So 1,540, do it on your calculator with me if you want, okay? 1,540 times 0.25 equals 385. Now I wanna divide this by 9, why? Well, 25% of 15 and 40 is 385 calories. I want to divide 385 by what? 9, because there's 9 calories of fat. There's 9 calories per 1 gram of fat. So I need to divide 9 into 385, which equals 43 grams, right? And 43 times 9 equals 385. 385 is 25% of 1,540 calories. Again, the app will do this, but it's important that you know where your calories are coming from, okay? So we've got 43 grams of fat. We've got 98 grams of protein. Now we just figure out our carbs. That's our remaining calories. So what do we do here for our carbs? 191. Where do I have it written down? Right here. So we're gonna go 1,540 calories minus 777. And all we did right here was go 385 calories from fat, right? Remember, 385 calories from fat plus 392 calories from protein, right? Our protein, 98 times 4, right, is 392. So we just want to add those up. So 385 plus 392, again, that's your fat and protein calories. 777 calories coming from protein and fat. 1,540, your total calories, minus your fat and protein calories equal 763 calories left, okay? And that's gonna be your carbs. So what do we need to do? We need to take the 763 and we need to divide it into 4 because why? There's 4 calories per 1 gram of carb. What does that equal? 191. So 763 divided by 4 equals 191. So 191 grams of carbs. And again, 191 times 4 equals 763. So as you can see here, we've got 385 grams coming from fat. We've got 392 calories coming from protein. And then we've got 763 calories coming from carbohydrates. So now we've got our macros, guys. Her protein is 98, carbs 191, and her fats are 43 grams. This is how you figure out your macros. And listen, guys, even if you're a person that likes more fat, say you're a sedentary job or whatever, you just like more fats in your diet. I could have gone for the fats, I could have done 30%, or I could have done 35% or 40%, right? And I would have done the same thing, but this is just a starting point. I love to have my carbs high, right? I love to have my fat a little bit lower because again, fat is more dense in calories. And then I have my protein set. And then later on, right, as we start to track calories through MyFitnessPal, or you can write it down, or you can use Excel, we can always change the macros each week, okay? So listen, guys, I hope you're understanding this. You gotta keep it simple. This is the real raw way to figure out your macros. And even if this was Tom, and Tom was 12% body fat and he wants to get on stage and he wants to do all of this, it's the same rules apply. I would have took Tom's goal weight and I would have gave him more protein because he has less body fat to lose. So I would have increased his protein. I would have figured out his fat next, which would have been anywhere from probably 20 to 30%. And then I would have figured out his carbohydrates last. Same thing with his calories. It doesn't matter, guys. This is just a starting point. Even if Mary, her activity level, say she was going to the gym 3 times a week, right? Say she was going to the gym 3 times a week and you're confused right now and you're like, well, how many calories? Well, guys, remember I told you, times it by 15. Her goal weight, times it by 15, whatever those calories are, you would then go through the same process and that's how you get started, okay? And again, mind you, I'll say this again, MyFitnessPal is going to do a lot of this for you because the formula is already there. But I still think that you should go through the process. So many people skip the process, even when you have a coach. Say you were working with me and I was your coach, you were paying me. I'm still going to take you through this process. I'm not just going to give you macros. I'm not just going to say, hey, do this, do that, because you're not learning anything, okay? If you're gonna work with someone, you're gonna pay them, you're gonna invest the energy so that you can do the things that you need to do. And the things that you need to do is you need to have more understanding. So listen, guys, and the last thing I'll say is when you are tracking, hopefully you guys can still see me. We've got our macros. You've got calories in and you've got calories out. That's it. The calories in is the food that you eat and the drinks that you drink. The calories out is going to be your activity, right? It's going to be your activity. It's going to be your steps, your non-exercise activity. We can go over this in another video if you guys want. Comment below what you want to see next. But all we do is we start to track on MyFitnessPal. We start to track our food, right? By plugging it into MyFitnessPal, weighing our food, right? Creating a system for ourselves. Is it uncomfortable at first? Yeah, you're like, what the hell? Like, I've never done this before. Why am I doing this? Well, you're doing this because your health, your body, this vehicle that you're in, it's one of the most important assets you'll ever have in life. It carries you through your life. So you should take care of it, right? And then your activity, we just adjust to. So maybe you start with just a walk every day, a 10-minute walk every day. And then the following week, right, we add 10 minutes. We keep things simple, but we have our starting macros, we track on MyFitnessPal, and we start to build a system for ourselves, right? And we also weigh ourselves. We have to weigh ourselves on the scale, right? Because we want to take an average of your body weight each and every week. We don't want to just weigh in once a week because our weight is affected by water, by alcohol, by sodium, by our bowels, right? Our weight is affected by so many things. So the key to this is being very consistent with your macros, right? Doing the very best that you can, making it a priority, and you will struggle a little bit at first, but you will get it. Make sure that you guys are tracking your daily weigh-ins so that you have an average. And activity, even if you don't start with anything, it doesn't matter, guys, okay? Start with a walk if you do anything, okay? Listen, comment below what questions you have. Hopefully this is making sense. Macros is the protein, carbs, and fats that's in your food that makes up your food. Food labels, you gotta pay attention to. The serving size, how many calories, how much fat, carbs, and protein, right? Protein, carbs, and fats, there's 4, 4, and 9 calories in them. This is how much you need. Lean body mass protein, 0.7 to 1.2 times your goal weight. Figure out your fat next, 20%, no less than 20% of your total calories. And then we go right into it. So make sure you guys rewind the video. Do this for yourself. Don't overcomplicate it. And remember, keep one damn chef in the kitchen because everyone you talk to is going to say, no, you need this much protein. No, you need to do carnivore. No, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Stop. It's just calories in, calories out, starting to understand how much protein you need so that we can maintain our lean body mass. We need to make sure that we're repairing our muscle, right? There's so many benefits to protein. We need to make sure that we're eating enough fats in our diet so that we can think, brain function, right? Our hormones, libido, our sex drive, all that good stuff. And then our remaining is coming from carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is the primary energy source for the body. But listen, your body is getting energy from all three of them, right? And if you overeat protein or you overeat carbs or you overeat fat, you're overeating calories, you're overeating energy, and the energy has to go somewhere, right? It goes to our body fat, right? It goes to our face, it goes to our ass, it goes to our legs. Listen, the body fat that you have on your body is just energy, and we have to create a deficit. And if we can consistently track our calories, right, and create a system for us, it becomes really easy. Tracking your food is just as easy as texting, guys. But the problem is we won't do it because of our programming. And remember, our root cause of why we don't do anything is always our mindset. It's always our programming. But through more information like this, through understanding, taking 20 minutes, 15 minutes, however long this video is, and understanding how to get started and like opening up your mind to this, you can start to lose the weight that you want. You can start to create whatever body that you want. It's energy in, energy out, period, guys. But we have to get into a caloric deficit or we're never going to lose fat. I just made a video. You can eat just protein all day long. If you're not in a caloric deficit, you're not going to lose weight. But you can also eat candy and ice cream all day long. And if you're in a caloric deficit, you will lose weight. Okay, there is no and, if, or buts, right? The universe, everything is energy. Energy in, energy out. And if you're burning more calories than you're consuming, or you're eating less than you are burning, you're going to lose weight. So listen, guys, you have all the information to get started. Questions, comment below. What questions do you have? Right? I went kind of fast for this. I may have missed some things, But listen, if you do have questions, comment below. I'll make some more videos and let's make some gains, okay? I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.